The story begins with a boy trapped in an underground lift, whose memory had completely disappeared. Suddenly, he heard some sound from a box in the lift, and when he looked closely, he saw a voice in that box. That boy was not understanding anything, and after a while, when he reached the top of the lift, he was welcomed by many boys present there. And as soon as the lift stopped, a boy named Glade held his hand and pulled him out. But by then, the boy was very scared, and as soon as he came out, he started running at full speed. But after running for a while, he realized that the place was surrounded by big walls, and they had no way to get out of there. Then that boy was put in a cage, after which the leader of the place, Alby, asked him a few questions. In response, the boy said, "I don't remember anything," on which Alby explained to him that this is a very ordinary thing. There is no one present at that place. The boy also remembered nothing other than his name, and he remembered his name only after a few days of coming here. And when the boy promised not to try to run again, Alby set him free. After which he took the boy on a tour, during which he told him that all those people lived here, and all the important work he did to stay alive. Like making a house and hunting, etc. etc. And if he needed anything else, he would tell him. Alby also told him that there was a place in the village where the boys used to order food through a lift, which he named Box. Every month, new supplies and a new boy would be sent for them through Box. And none of them knew who sent them there and why. Then the boy's eyes were on a strange door made of a wall. After which Alby told him about the 3 important rules of the place. In which doing your own work, not harming anyone, and not going to that door by mistake was included. As soon as Alby left the place, Chuck came out. A boy named Chuck came to support that new boy. But his newbie's eyes were only on that door. And he wanted to know about the secret hidden behind that door. And then he saw Ben and Minho coming out of that door. He was very surprised to see them. Because Alby, according to him, was forbidden to go to that door. But then Chuck told him that only a few boys could go to that door, who they called runners. Also, he told him that behind that door, there was a mistake. After hearing this, that new boy became very excited. And due to his growing interest, he went to see that door from a closer distance. But then Glade pushed him down to stop him, which made the boy very angry. And he started shouting at everyone. But then suddenly that door was closed. That same evening, all the boys organized a party to celebrate the arrival of a new member. During which a boy named Newt told him that actually every day some runners, as soon as the sun rises, go to that door to make a map of the mistake. And for the last 3 years, those people were looking for a way out. But so far they had not achieved any success. But all the runners had to get out of there before the night. And if someone could not do this, then he had to spend his night in that mistake. And so far no one has come back alive after the night. Because in that mistake, there was a demon named Grievers. Now that new boy wanted to become a runner in some way. On which Newt told him that a runner is only made by seeing the special people's abilities. Suddenly newbie got a push. And that push was on Glade and his accomplices unknowingly, who were fighting among themselves at the time. And then the Glade called that new boy for a wrestling match, in which he had to throw one of the other out of the circle. The one who threw the other before him, he will win. For this, the new boy was immediately ready. After which the match began. As soon as the night started, Glade started showing off his ability. Here, that new boy was putting all his strength. But then Glade kicked him down, kicking him on his lap. Because of which, his head hit the ground quite fast. But fortunately, due to this shock, newbie remembered his real name, Thomas. That night, Thomas saw something strange in his dream, in which he was sometimes running, sometimes he was in a lab. And in between, a woman was saying again and again that wicked is good. The next day, Alby took Thomas to the wall where all the names of the boys were written. But then Thomas's eyes were on some names that were cut, on which Alby told him that these are the boys who are no longer in between them. That is, those who died. After some time, Thomas went to the jungle to get some stuff, where he saw some thorns hanging on the trees. But then he met Ben, who was behaving quite strangely at that time. And before Thomas could understand anything, Ben suddenly attacked him. To escape from this, Thomas first hit him with a stick on his head. And then he quickly started running while calling for help. Ben was following him all the time. But fortunately, Thomas returned to the village on time, where Newt hit his head hard to stop Ben. After this, they all examined his stomach while imprisoning Ben, where they found a very strange looking wound. And seeing this, they put Ben in a cage. After which, Alby told Thomas, that in fact, Ben is going through a very special process, which is called changing, and this was because of the dent of those demons called Grievers in the cage. But today, it happened for the first time in the sunlight. Seeing Ben's deteriorating condition, they all put him in the cage just before the door closed. That same night, Thomas had a dream again, in which he saw a woman in the same lab. And with this, there was also a girl in his dream, who was with him in the experiment. The next morning, Thomas saw that even though Alby was not a runner, he had gone inside the door. On which Newt told him that in fact, Alby has gone to find out through the marks of Ben's feet that where he had gone with the dent. Along with that, he told him that Alby had come to this place first. And before the arrival of other boys from that lift, he had spent a whole month here alone. That same evening, everyone was worried because Alby and the other runners had not returned yet. And that's why they came back. And they were waiting for them at the door. And then they saw Minho, who had lifted Alby, who had been injured, on his shoulder. Before he could come this way, the doors started closing. And seeing this, everyone was very scared. But Thomas entered the maze of oblivion without thinking anything to save him. And as soon as he went inside, that door closed. As soon as Thomas saw Alby, he immediately understood that Alby has also been dusted. Because of this, Minho was taken away from him. Then he heard the sound of the Grievers coming. But Thomas wanted to save Alby at any cost. But Minho said that this cannot happen. Once he was dusted, he left the job. But then Thomas saw a tree on a wall. And he hung Alby in the middle of those trees with the help of Minho. Now those people were working on it. Then this Griever came very close to them. As soon as he saw it, Minho ran away from there. But Thomas hid Alby behind the trees. And he hid Alby in the middle of the trees. He realized that this Griever is not a real demon, but it is some kind of machine. He was given the form of a demon. As soon as Griever left, Thomas got back to work. But then he felt something strange on his shoulder. And when he looked up, there was a Griever in front of him, who immediately started following him. Thomas was running at full speed to save his life. But he knew very well that he was not running like this.